Hello and welcome. You're watching WION World is One. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast by taking a quick look as to what is making headlines at this hour.
Make sure that if there's peace, the peace is going to stay long term. This is very long term. We're not talking about a 2-year peace and then we end up in this mess again. We're going to make sure that everything's good. We'll work with Russia. We're going to work with Ukraine, and we're going to make sure it works.
The American President Donald Trump calls for lasting peace in Ukraine and says that there is a need for an urgent peace deal between Kiev and Moscow, while sitting next to the Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House. The American President Donald Trump does not rule out sending American troops into Ukraine to help maintain a potential peace deal. His openness to allowing American troops on the ground in Ukraine could make for a major shift in American policy.
We're going to have a meeting. I think if everything works out well today, we'll have a trilateral. And I think there will be a reasonable chance of ending the war when we do that.
The President Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky expressed hope that critical talks with Ukrainian and European leaders at the White House could lead to a potential trilateral talks. That would include the Russian President Vladimir Putin to bring an end to this 3-plus-year-long war in Ukraine. The European leaders, including Emmanuel Macron, Keir Starmer, Giorgia Meloni, among others, joined the Trump-Zelensky talks at the White House. All of them pose for a joint photograph.
Now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire. Steps ahead are the more complicated ones now.
The German Chancellor Friedrich Merz calls for a ceasefire in Ukraine before a leaders' trilateral summit and contradicts the American President Donald Trump's call to work for a peace deal with Russia instead.
And we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important.
President Emmanuel Macron calls for a 4-way meeting, including with the Europeans. This in response to the American President Donald Trump's hope of bringing together the Ukrainian and the Russian presidents on the same table. And President Donald Trump presents the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with a large map showing the 20% of the country that is under Russian control. During their Oval Office meeting, the eastern part of the map is shaded in pink to represent the nearly 20% of the country that has now been occupied by the Russian forces after this 3-plus-year-long war in Ukraine. Now, Hamas accepts a new ceasefire proposal for the Gaza Strip without requesting for amendments, which includes temporary suspension of military operations for a period of 60 days. This after a fresh diplomatic push to end the more than 22 months of war.